What is up, guys? Today we're going to react to more creepypasta, SFMs, and this is called Train Ride. And the guy who's been making these SFM creepypasta is I can't really read that, I'm sorry, but yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this reaction, and if you want more reaction of creepypasta SFMs, let me know. 3, 2, 1, go.
It had been a long, tiring day at work. It was quiet as I waited alone for the train. It was just a bit after
Just 1
midnight,
second, guys.
and so dark that I could only see the square foot around me that the small light illuminated from above. Fortunately, I wasn't stuck waiting long for the train.
Thank God the train came.
Eagerly, I ran in the second the doors opened. There were only 2 other men in the compartment. Not unusual for this time of night. The place reeked of smoke from the older man.
That actually looks really cool.
He took another long drag of it and watched me as I came in and took my seat.
If I had TF2, I might make customization character for that heavy.
Man, sitting across from the smoker. He was only about 5 seats away, but his face was hidden by his hood, so I had trouble making out his features. His eyes, though, I could see them clearly. One was normal, but the other was red, where it should have been white.
It looks a little bit red.
He stared shamelessly back at me with a tight, almost pained expression. I nodded at him, trying to break the tension, but he just continued to stare at me.
Creepy.
So I looked out the window, trying to ignore his gaze, but I could still feel his eyes on me. The train lights began to flicker and went out for a moment.
Uh-oh.
"Sorry, folks," said a voice over the static of the PA. "We're gonna get maintenance on that in the morning. We apologize for any inconvenience." My stomach dropped, and I struggled to control my breathing. I reminded myself that there was no reason to be afraid of the dark. I was a grown man, a tax-paying adult who... Oh, thank God. The lights came back on. I hadn't even realized my eyes were shut tight. Sighing, I opened them to see the man's unsettling eyes staring directly into mine, from only 2 seats away.
Yeah, I'll, sit next to the...
Bewildered,
old
I
guy.
looked over at the older man who hadn't moved from his seat. He took another drag from his cigarette and coughed, acting like nothing had happened. The train rumbled down the tracks. I was afraid to look back at the red-eyed man. I didn't want to. I didn't want to move or even breathe. I tried to convince myself that the whole thing was in my mind. Maybe I was just tired from a long day of work. Maybe I was just paranoid and he wasn't even looking at me.
Oh no, so I get red again. More red.
The lights flickered again and went out.
Uh-oh.
I held my breath, waiting for the lights to come back. After a moment, they did. But the man, he was in the seat next to mine, his face only a few inches away from me. I leaned back. "What the hell is your problem? What are you doing?" He didn't respond. Instead, the smoker angrily said,
"Look, kid, if you wanted me to put out the cigarette, you could have asked nicely, alright?"
"Not you, man. This guy." The smoker stared at me for a second, confused.
Oh no.
"It's, just you and me in here, kid. You alright?"
Oh, I knew he was gonna say that.
The red-eyed man hadn't moved or responded at all. Then the lights went out again.
And he died. Oh. Anyways, yeah, let's react to one more. Next, we're gonna react to SFM CREPPYPASTA, The Man in the Pond, and this was made by a different guy named D.N. Bray, if I said it right. So, let's go.
my friends, who I'll refer to as S and J, came along
S
with
and
me on
J.
a little camping trip near Blue Mountain National Park. We set up camp near a small pond, just because it seemed like the coolest place to chill. The point of this whole trip was mainly just to get out, drink a bunch of beers with friends, and chill. I cracked open my second Budweiser, laughing it up with S and J, talking about some of our other friends, with music playing in the background, overall just having a good time. Then, however, I saw S reach over for the speaker and turn it down all the way, and then shushed us and pointed out to the pond. S whispered, "Do you guys see that?" Jay and I looked out to the pond. The campfire had a glow that partially reflected on the pond water, but even yet, I couldn't see what he was pointing at. S whispered, "There's something in the water." I went into the tent to get the flashlight from my bag. When I came out, S said don't, but I turned it on anyway and aimed it at the pond. The light didn't reveal anything or anyone, but we did all hear the sound of water being pushed, as if someone or something were walking in it. I turned out the light just because I was freaked out and looked at my two friends, who were both wearing cringing faces. I told S to shut off the speakers completely now. We all sat in our chairs, not really saying much anymore, just listening to the surroundings. About an hour passed, and within that time, nothing happened. So we grew more comfortable again, and things went back to normal. Eventually, I went to my tent, and S and J went to the tent that they'd be sharing, and we all went to sleep. Now that I was alone with my thoughts, however, I started thinking of that thing that S said was in the water. He never actually described what it looked like, if it was an animal or a person. My sense of hearing was heightened as I was in a state of alert, and because of that, I heard something from the woods. I sat up, since that always seems to help with concentration. I needed to hear one more sound before I could confirm something wasn't right. There was the sound again, much closer now, and I was able to confirm it was a foot hitting the ground. Whether it was a person's foot or an animal's foot was still unclear, however. I heard another footstep, this time much closer. It was clear someone or something was sneaking around our campsite. There was one final footstep. It was really close to the tent. I started texting S, but I was only able to type out the words, "There's something," before the gut-wrenching, blood-curdling scream pierced through the walls of the tent. I couldn't tell if it was the scream of a man or a woman. It's hard to explain, but it was deep enough where it could be a man, but not so deep to the point that it couldn't be a woman. The scream lasted about 5 seconds. Then there was silence. I didn't know if I should get out, call for my friends, or stay silent. I texted S, "Dude, we have to run." He responded, "What was that?" I didn't answer right away. Instead, I tried to think of what we could do. But pretty soon, S texted me again, saying the coast is clear, run for the car. I grabbed the keys from my bag, opened the zipper to the tent, and sprinted to the car, which luckily was only about 30 seconds away. We stayed in the car all night and went back the next morning for our stuff, which luckily was all still there. Still have no idea who, or even dare I say what that thing was at our campsite that night. Just happy we got out okay.
Oh, that was actually really scary. Alright, so that'll be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Want more creepypasta? Let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.